back to Overthink, the game show where I ask contestants a series of Overwatch hot takes to see where they stand. Feel free to play along in the comments to let me know what your opinions are on these hot takes. And if you'd like to actually be on an episode, go ahead and sign up in my Discord. I host these live on my Twitch channel most Sundays, so please go follow me on there to catch a show live. And lastly, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more content like this. Clash is a fun and balanced game mode.
Well, I think it's a fun and balanced game mode because it's something unique. It's sort of 2CP but reimagined, because it reminded me sort of Domination from Call of Duty, but this also relies on completely the team strategy. I mean, you could push in or you could just wait till they take the other point, and it's just a lot of strategy, but it's really fun because, yeah, it's unique.
I like the idea of the game mode. I don't think the map was designed very well. I think it's a little too small and very closed off. It's kind of more designed for, it's like more of a flanker kind of map. So anyone who doesn't have like good mobility, they're kind of out of luck. But I do like the idea of the game mode.
I played only a game or two of it, and it felt like the map was too small, and I like the concept a lot. I felt like, you know, it was cool going back and forth, but it just kind of felt like you could stomp until the end, where they reverse stomp and then just go back and forth. You know?
I've only played one game as well, so it's not a strong opinion, but I like the idea, but I feel like the map is a bit strange for me. For example, there is, I think, only one mega health pack on the entire map, and opposite to Tyrifian, I think it's actually maybe made for brawl comps, because they keep clashing into each other, but maybe that's because I only played one game, so it's a small sample size.
Go to the middle circle. Everybody go in neutral. So I have something for you, just a little side question. Just want to see where you guys stand. So out of the things added to Overwatch 2, so we have Flashpoint, we have Clash, and we have Push. First, we're going to compare Push and Clash, because I know that those are two that are kind of controversial. I know Push a lot more so. I want to see which one you guys prefer. So the agree circle will be for Clash, the newest game mode, and the disagree circle will be for Push. So when I say go, I want you guys to go to the circle that you think is better. Push or Clash. All right, so a lot more people like Clash than they do Push. Interesting. Same thing, but with Flashpoint. So we're gonna see agree is gonna be Clash again, and the disagree circle is going to be for Flashpoint. So let's see what you guys think. Okay, so it seems like people like Flashpoint the most, followed by Clash, followed by Push. Interesting. Mythics should be an exclusive thing that you could only get during the season in which they were released.
I just think it's like this skin. With the OG owl skins, you could only get them in a certain time period and then they were gone. And I feel like with OW2, you have 60 days to get it. You have enough time most of the time to get it. I feel like it should just stay exclusive to that season.
I am somewhat agree. I dislike it when it comes down to the previous season. Like example, if I wanted to get the Orisa skin, I would play that season instead. But when it comes down to the very first season or second season, where a lot of people weren't playing as often, as had like a jump in some sort of way, I think it's a good idea. Because what if someone really wanted that Genji skin, or someone really wanted that Kiriko skin? I think it's a good idea, but I think for more recent seasons, like going from this season, previous season, and the season before that, I feel like it should stay that way.
I think that Mythic skins shouldn't be exclusive just because all these skins you can just buy anytime, and especially when you miss a shop skin like a week or something, and let's say you don't have a lot of money, just having things be exclusive like that isn't really a good thing. But I can see the other side too. I don't think it's like a hard stance.
Yeah, it's just like a problem of availability on your end. One season, I remember season 1, I couldn't really play that much, so I couldn't really get the Genji Mythic, and it's one I enjoyed. So like having the option of, I think it's called Prisms, right? It's like decent. And it's also like the Blizzard devs said a long time ago, I think it was season 3, that we're going to introduce it eventually, so I don't see why not.
So not even just not player availability, I think it's very discouraging for new players. Like let's say your friends are Overwatch players and you think maybe I'll join Overwatch as well, and you like pick up a favorite character, but it's been sold, the battle pass format has been been going on for so long that your chance to have gotten, like, let's say the Genji skin, like Genji's your new favorite hero, you can't even get them. So I think this is a good way to encourage. And I know at the end of the day it's a cosmetic, but that also like contributes to your player experience.
I have one sub question for this one as well. So just for anybody who'd like to speak up on this, a lot of you think that exclusivity is not really the best thing according to where you are for the stances. But how do you guys feel about things like the Widowmaker, how do I say it, Noir skin? Do you guys think that things like that should also be exclusive, or they shouldn't be, or what are you guys thinking? Do you think that it depends on what kind of skin for whether they should be exclusive or not, or would like to speak up on that?
So, as a comparison to the Widowmaker Noir skin, it was exclusive until they put it back in the winter event, I think, last year. Then we also have some items like the Pink Mercy skin that should stay exclusive. When they put exclusive things back, it makes it feel less special.
Yeah.
Like the Noir skin was since Overwatch 1, and then you put it back somewhere in Overwatch 2 and it makes it feel less special.
I could be mistaken, but I thought they've never brought that back. The only time they did was when they released Overwatch for the Switch. If you pre-ordered that, then you could get it. Did they ever bring it back to like the shop in Overwatch 2? I don't think so, did they?
The winter event.
There's not Widow.
shop.
It was a different Widow skin. That was the one for the
Carrigan.
yeah, it's the StarCraft anniversary skin.
I'm mistaken my skins then.
I think that it only works when it comes down to really special ones like Pink Mercy, because Pink Mercy was there for cancer, and I think that's a good way to represent possibly what you could have done, or just a way to do something about it, because cancer's serious, especially breast cancer, since it's so underlying because women's health and things of the sort. Won't go too far into it, but I think that Pink Mercy should stay that way as an exclusive. The Mythic skins can be here and then gone and then back again, but I think the Pink Mercy and the Noir skin for Widow, I think it's a good idea to keep them in that exclusive way.
The Mercy Mythic is mid.
I just think it's kind of like not that great. I feel like the Sigma Mythic, it was really good. The original one was kind of meh, and it's just like, I like the animation introducing it, but the actual skin, I feel like they could have done more. I like the beams, but other than that, it's just kind of boring, and I feel like I'd rather use something else.
I think the skin is a bit overrated. I think we've had better mythics in the past. Like the Warrior one last season was very good. This one's customization options, it's plentiful, but they're not super great. Like all the masks aren't very, I don't think any of the masks are that good. And the colors, the red one's the only really good one.
I guess I don't really have strong opinions about skins, but like the Mercy one in particular, I think I only saw on the trailer, so I don't even remember fully what it looks like, the options and whatnot, so I just don't really have any opinion.
I love the conceptual idea and I enjoy the color options. I just kind of think that tier 4 is kind of useless. It only gives one thing, if I remember, and that's a color palette. So unless you're really into that weird blue color palette, I wouldn't get it. But that blue color palette is similar to Hard Light, which was the weapon skin for Mercy. That I think it's just not worth it, but I love the idea and the conceptualization. I enjoy some of the masks as well, and I just wish the staff as well also had a bit more to it.
I was just like saying, I think it's a decent skin, it's just held back by not having a unique voice line for the ult, I guess. Pretty much it. It's a good skin otherwise.
I've always wanted like an evil or even dark themed Mercy skin. Like the closest thing we had before was like Devil or Witch, debatably, but even then those weren't all that great with all the cut content that they took from it, like the unique res voice line for Witch and all that, or even the alt line for her. So just the concept of the fact that they actually gave her a dark and evil skin with like the red beam, the dark res animation and all that.
I think the color schemes actually fit the Mercy skin pretty well, even though it's dark themed. I want to take the Hard Light weapon skins also into consideration, because you can make a good combo with the color scheme and the Mythic skin. Also what he said, the res animation, the healing and damage beam animation. Also the pistol has special animation that really sold the skin for me. I think it's just a really good concept for overall for a evil Mercy.
A GM player should not be able to group up to play ranked with somebody in bronze.
The reason why you shouldn't be able to queue with bronzes if you're GM or champ is this. If you're champ 5 and you queue with 4 bronze 5 players who are like GM players on Smurfs, it takes 20 minutes, then you're in a plat game. There's a minimum amount of MMR you're allowed to gain, and that's 5%. So you play 25 games, you get champ 5, champ whatever, and you get top 500 quicker because queues are 20 minutes instead of an hour. So what's happening is even some plat friends are seeing like champ 2, champ 3, champ 4 players in their games. It's just really bad.
Something similar with the queue times. I'm not in GM or bronze, and I don't have any friends who are, but I'm worried about the queue times. I'm worried about the complaining, and I'm worried about my games being sabotaged because of them trying to find a middle ground because of it. Because if I get put with a champ 5 player, I'm plat 5 DPS, I can't go against that in good faith. And then I feel bad because I'm absolutely destroying people who are the ones who are bronze, but will probably still lose because of the champ player in the first place.
Yeah, I don't mind. I think bronze to GM5 is a bit too extreme. I don't mind the concept of like stacking. It's a universal concept in other games like Valorant and CSGO at this point. I just think Overwatch, as it stands now, has a lot of problems with like smurfing and what we had with other seasons with like people like min-maxing, I think what it's called. I just think they just need to take a step back, the devs, and just reevaluate how it works more than anything.
So just to reply real quick to something I believe Cherry said, if you have a champion and a bronze player together, you're considered a wide group, and if you are a solo player, you cannot be matched against them unless there's like a matchmaking bug. As a solo player, you can only be matched against other narrow groups, so groups that are within their SR. So if you have a champion and bronze, they will be wide and they will only face other wide groups. And then I'm in slightly disagree because I feel like there's a lot of people who have been asking to be playing with their friends, and quick play isn't the same because the game set isn't the same. Like if you wanted to attack and defend on a push map or a payload map, you couldn't do that. You only get to either defend or attack, and I think it makes the games really short and feel bad. So I think a good middle ground, if they do take this away, would just to be change how quick play works and like make the games longer, because they feel really short. But I also think people should be able to play ranked with their friends with the minimal amount of gains.
When you're playing, like especially bronze to GM, there's almost no gain in rank, so it won't really affect your rank. And it's fun being able to play with your friends. So if you can play with your high rank or low rank friends and barely, see a change, that's cool. And there's gonna be less smurfs because people smurf because they want to be with their friends. So less smurfing, more fun. And like I mentioned, I think there's gonna be wide groups, so you won't have to really deal with it if you're solo or even like small group.
I think, yeah, I agree with Hollow, because if you have someone in like Champ or Grandmaster that can stack with bronze, that's way healthier than having them make an ult account and then they're considered a low rank, let's say like plat or something, and then the SR fluctuates way more if you have someone on one of those accounts, even if their skill level is at like Champ or Champ. So it's healthier to have.
Is there anybody who, after hearing others speak, would like to change their stance? Ooh, okay. We got a big swap here. So we got from disagree to agree. Comic, why did you change your stance? Let's hear it.
Yeah, originally I wasn't disagree because I think if people should be allowed to play how they want, but just be matched against other people who also play the same. So like if a champion wants to play with a bronze, they can, but against another champion and a bronze, and like if the queue times are long, then that's their problem. But I think now that I think about it, it's very abusable or exploitable, because if the queue times are like 2 or 3 hours or whatever, then you can just have 10 people who are guaranteed to have a game with each other, and I guess they can somehow throw and just rank up accounts artificially. So I think there's an exploit there. Probably there's a solution, but I think it's a big one.
Venture is the best hero released in Overwatch 2 so far.
I think Venture is the best character yet, because they're the first first hero that uses diadem. I think that's like really big step for like Overwatch, that they make this community noticeable, that they just support it. But also his kit is amazing. He's I think person that is an archaeologist, so he goes more into lore also. So I think just by that he is the best out of all them all.
Yeah, I do agree with the representation part of it. Love that. Love our, community, especially the LGBTQ. But also, I think they're just a fun character. I only really played them during the playtest, but they're balanced, they're good, they're not too OP, and they immediately got released into comp, so that definitely says something.
I think Venture is probably close to the best all the Overwatch heroes so far. Their kit is very fun and really dynamic. And also having an archaeologist is like something that I would expect from Overwatch. And as someone who loves like ancient history, I think that's like really cool.
So I'm fully all for them like adding like having a more LGBTQ representation, you know, the archaeologist background. But to me, it really just kind of feels like they copy and pasted almost Doomfist from Overwatch 1 when he was still a DPS. Gain shield when they use an attack, just being able to disengage and re-engage and all that, and also just on sub of it just being a MOBA hero rather than like an FPS hero. And also I don't like the fact that they were added to comp right away rather than like having the week or two period of pause for people to learn them.
I think Venture is a really fun hero, but it's definitely not the best. They're not the best one they've released. I think Ram would have to be the best hero of Overwatch 2. So you just can't beat Ram, in my opinion, in terms of like how balanced he is for the game.
Awesome. After hearing everybody speak, is there anybody who would like to change their stance? Lucio, from agree to somewhat agree. Why?
The only reason is because I have kind of seen Ventures throwing games in comps because they didn't have enough time to learn them in quick play. So that's, you know, Alistair brought that up, and that's fair enough. That's the only reason I moved, though.
Ventures should not have been added to competitive so soon after their release.
I think they suck. They might be the worst DPS hero minus Junkrat, and even that's debatable. I think picking the hero is just throwing. I think they are the worst DPS hero, and the fact that they added into a comp so fast with so many bugs, it's just... if I see a Venture in my game, half the time I just don't want to play. I think they are just the worst hero in the game.
I see Tyrethian and Gerbil, they're all shaking their heads.
So I believe their kit is fairly dynamic. It's simple, but it's fairly dynamic, which allows for a lot of mobility. And I actually think they're a little stronger than people are giving them credit for. Their ability to displace like Hammond or Doomfist is like quite strong, and the dig disengage is very fast. It's hard to punish them because when they're in the ground, their like drill cooldown is still going down. So by the time they pop out of the ground, they're pretty much ready to go and be like mobile again. I think they do have some hard counters since their range is fairly short, but they can make up for it with a lot of mobility. So I'm gonna be a little spicy and say it might be a little of a skill issue.
I think it's just like people have to realize that Blizzard has been doing this with the previous hero releases. It's been like standard practice of, I think, 2 weeks release. I think Venture as it stands is a decent hero, but I feel like they just don't really mesh well with like what the current meta is, and it matters a lot for like Halo. Because I do notice like Venture's like going negative most games. Like they get out poked, they get out brawled. Like you can't really play them right now. I just think they need like a round of buffs there to like fix the issues of a hero.
I think they're balanced. I think the only reason they shouldn't have immediately been released into comp is because people haven't had that time to actually learn them and play with them and see how they're really played. Because I've heard a lot of people call them similar to Reaper, and how you have to get up close and just try to burst someone down, which is a little bit different than most currently released characters. So it's fun though.
Winter was like the playtesting weekend where they tested Venture. I think that was enough. Like you're not really going to get that much more experience if you're going to be playing comp anyway rather than quick play. So plus season 10 has been chaotic anyway. Might as well spice it up even more. I don't mind being a Venture being in comp.
I think them being in comp is fine because we had that weekend before, and also like having the quick play format just messes up like how people rate the hero. Because if you have attack and defense, you get more time, and like it feels like you're learning more. When it takes you out of the match to put you in another one, you have a lot of downtime, and like I don't know, I just kind of lose my groove.
I think they're probably more balanced than, let's say, release Sojourn and release Queen. So I'm happy with them being in comp early. And realistically, if you have a bad Venture on your team, the other team is most likely also going to have a bad Venture. And there's a few character interactions that I'm not a fan of, like their drill pushing you. Like it's I would say it's pretty comparable to a Lucio Boop, and the burst combo is fairly strong, and there's not much you can do about it. But other than that, I think they're definitely more on the balanced end of like the recent hero releases, so I'm happy about that at least.
I have said fuck and or shit in match chat before. All right, ready?
Sorry.
PJ, get him! PJ, ban the ball! Pat! Alistar! I got him, PJ! Tyrethian! Who else? Gerbil! Hummock! Get him all! Ban the ball! PJ!
Yo,
somebody
please,
tag
oh my
PJ!
God.
Tag Blizzard CS! All right, I guess you're all getting banned. See you later, nerds.
2 to the 1, to that 1, to that 3. I play easy mode, and I play to win. I love to die, and I like to BRB. All systems checked out, group up with me. 2 to the 1, to that 1, to that 3. I'm here to party. GG. A giant gorilla can keep up with me? You can't be serious. I